Hello, my shenanigans, mayhems, and mischiefs. Welcome to Shonk Week, where I draw one shonk every day for a week. This is the video version where I give you facts about the shonks instead of just the drawings. And also, I know that this is late for Shonk Week, but I did do the drawings mostly during the actual Shonk Week. Besides, I'm busy, okay? Let's just get to the sharks. Day 1 of Shonk Week is the great white shonk. The great white is a species of large mackerel shark which can be found in the coastal surface waters of all the major oceans. It is the only known surviving species of its genus, Carcharodon. I have no clue how to pronounce that. The great white has a lifespan of around 70 years or more, making it one of the longest living cartilaginous fishes we currently know of. This shonk is often thought of as a violent, bloodthirsty monster by the masses due to pop culture such as Jaws. This idea has spread to all other shonks and has caused much harm to them, especially because it's an incredibly rare occasion when someone even gets hurt by a shonk, let alone killed by one. In fact, annually, more people are killed by vending machines than sharks, and far more people get bit by other people than those who get bitten by sharks. Furthermore, in most cases, it's the fault of the people, either provoking the shonks or doing things like surfing around dusk or dawn, which is basically like going into a McDonald's at rush hour dressed as a Big Mac. Even when someone is attacked by a shark, the shark usually leaves them alone because they know that they were wrong. Despite this, sharkguardian.org estimates that 100 million sharks are killed each year globally. This number should scare you far more than a shonk. I do want to pause this real quick with a disclaimer that sharks are still a wild animal, and like with all wild animals, you should respect them and stay far away from them as possible. So, before you start judging, take a moment to consider the story and where you got it from. For instance, I got this information from wikipedia.org, sharkguardian.org, and from healthebay.org. And this is the great white shonk. I'm realizing just now, somehow, despite this whole video, I have not written any transitions into the script. On to Shonk 2, I guess. Day 2 of Shonk Week is Sharpedo. My sources for today's facts shall be my Pokemon guidebooks. Sharpedo, the brutal Pokemon, is known as the bully of the sea. Sharpedo can jet water through its body to reach speeds of up to 75 miles per hour, or about 120 kilometers per hour, to hunt prey or to defend its territory. I'm also just now thinking about it, and Sharpedo should absolutely evolve from Remoraid. Gunfish evolving into Bullet Shonk. Oh well. I don't really have a long, well-researched metaphor for this one. It's just Sharpedo facts. And now on to Day 3. Day 3 of Shonk Week is Cat Onesie Shonk. This shonk is in a cat onesie. How did the shonk get inside of the onesie? I don't know. Is this drawing kinda cringe? Probably. Do I or the shonk care? Not at all. For you see, my shenanigans, mayhems, and mischiefs, I had fun drawing this shonk, and this shonk enjoys the onesie. Maybe the onesie is covering up parts of the shonk they don't like. Maybe they just like cats. It doesn't matter why the onesie makes this shonk happy. They are happy, and therefore they will wear the onesie. Far be it from me to tell the shonk what they have to wear. And this is Cat Onesie Shonk. That one was probably the least researched and the least fact informative about the shonk. The next one is the shonk that I know the most about, except for this one, all the information will be coming from the shonk themselves. Day 4 of Shonk Week is Jawyer the Lawyer, the best lawyer in all of Cartoonia. To explain how good of a lawyer he is, Jawyer has provided us with this audio clip of himself debating with a client, whose name has been omitted for privacy. Rolling clip. Oh man, all these other shonks are so cool, but then I'm over here barely even a salmon. I'll never be a true shonk. Objection! You are valid, and I have proof. Well, You claim that you're barely a salmon and not a valid shonk, but you've left out any evidence to support your claim at all. But according to this witness testimony, you're not barely a salmon, as you claimed, because you're invalid, but you're barely a salmon because you're a fully fledged valid shonk. It doesn't matter if you're not the right size to be a great white or the right shape to be a hammerhead. You're a valid shonk even as you are right now. But... And what's more, if these witness reports and camera footage are accurate, then you are also visibly a shonk to outsiders. I looked at that footage and knew instantly that your statement must be false, because you are a shonk. No matter what your bones may be made out of, you are a shonk, and you always will be. I rest my case, Your Honor. Ending of the clip. What a skilled lawyer he is, truly. I'm so glad that he volunteered to come and help us with Shonk Week. That's Jolly the Lawyer, folks. And we are now a little over halfway through. Day 5 of Shonk Week is Shonk Pup. Most of the time, shonks don't lay eggs, but there are some who do. Shonk eggs are sometimes called mermaid's purses when they get washed ashore. This shonk has just hatched. Not long ago, they were an egg, completely unaware of the fact that they are a shonk. Now that the egg has cracked and they have hatched, they're scared to come out. Who wouldn't be? It's a scary ocean out there, and most places aren't safe. To this young shonk, I say, if you fear that you're not in a safe place to come out, then don't. Stay safe within your shell until you're safe to freely be the shonk that you are. You cannot uncrack your egg, and you cannot stop yourself from being a shonk. You always were one, and that's for the best. The world needs you, little shonk. I know it's a scary place, but it needs you. It needs you alive to be the shonk you are. If you aren't safe to come out where you are, that's okay. Just know that here, you are safe. Here, we will love you, not despite the fact that you are a shonk, but because the fact that you are you. And this is the Shonk Pup. I'm gonna be fully transparent right now. The day 6 is gonna be another one that is short and devoid of any deeper meaning. Day 6 of Shonk Week is Garchomp. Garchomp, the mock Pokemon, is the Dragon Ground type pseudo-legendary from the Sinnoh region. Despite its typing, Garchomp can fly incredibly fast. When it flies in a streamlined position, its sharp wings lower air resistance so much that it can fly faster than the speed of sound and could win in a race with a jet plane. And that is Garchomp. The next one is maybe the most exciting one. Day 7 of Shonk Week is the most popular shonk of all, or at least the most well-known among shonk enthusiasts. This is where Shonk Week comes from. It's the one and only Blowhigh. I am going to pronounce it Blowhigh for this video because I've been told that that's the correct pronunciation. However, I am not Swedish and cannot verify. It might be Blahaj or something else. This is how it's spelled. I'm going to show it on screen. You can decide how you want to pronounce it. Blowhigh is Swedish for blue shark, and this Blowhigh in particular is a plush sold by IKEA. Their blue and white bodies with a pink mouth, soft skin, and shonk shape make them very popular among the demographic I made this video for. Whilst I myself do not have a Blowhigh of my own, I have a Mako shonk who I'll be sharing in next year's Shonk Week, I am aware that they're very important to many people, which is why I decided I would draw some shonks for Shonk Week. The world can be an incredibly cruel place for shonks, which is why I decided to take the time to make some of you aware of the shonks, and perhaps in a follow-up video, make you aware of the harm society has caused to shonks. However, I've decided to keep this video focusing on the positives of these shonks, so as to not come out of nowhere with real-world problems. For this video, just enjoy the shonks. And this is Blowhigh. Well, my wonderful shenanigans, mayhems, and mischiefs, this was maybe a bit of a longer one, or maybe it just feels slower paced. Throughout this week in this video, I hope you've all learned a bit about these wonderful shonks. I'm honestly not certain how this video will do, as it is kind of different from my regularly scheduled goofy nonsense and occasionally informational content. I'm leaving that in. But I wanted to make this video as a reminder that shonks hold the ocean together, and if you want to try and get rid of them, the wrath of the entire ocean will spill out onto you. So be kind, loving, and compassionate, and please stay unslain.